Baby weaning, introduction of solid foods. Weaning the baby is a crucial moment in the life of the little one. Therefore, the transition should be conducted with patience and keeping in mind that the child may reject new foods, at least at the beginning. Baby weaning is the process by which the baby gradually stops feeding on breast milk. This stage can take place at different ages, as it depends on each family, how and when it begins. Either way, it must be a progressive and loving experience. This stage is influenced by biological, social and cultural aspects. Science has not established when or how to achieve ideal baby weaning. But we know, however, that exclusive breastfeeding is strongly necessary until the child is 6 months old. According to the World Health Organization, it is not advisable to exceed 2 years. Baby weaning, a variable process. In Inuit culture, for example, breastfeeding is practiced until about the age of 7. On the other hand, in Western cultures, such prolonged breastfeeding is not usual. When and how to end it is a decision that has to do with social aspects and every mom and baby. However, international organizations argue that breastfeeding should be extended until the child is 2 years old or less. It is also recommended to feed the baby until the age of 6 months exclusively with breast milk. Indeed, this liquid contains all the nutrients necessary for this step. Types of baby weaning. Baby weaning can be of different types. Forced weaning is that which must be carried out for medical reasons or other cases of force majeure which prevent breastfeeding from continuing. These include, for example, the prolonged separation between mother and child or infectious diseases. On the other hand, voluntary weaning is done at the request of the child or the mother. In the first case, it may happen that the child does not want to continue to latch on, or that he gradually loses interest in it. Second, the mother may stop breastfeeding for personal or professional reasons. Keep in mind that the baby can express his dissatisfaction at weaning if it is not his initiative. It is a transition that involves effort. The ideal is to put it in place gradually and with a lot of patience. How to introduce the first solid foods. When to start solid eating and what foods to give first are two things that have evolved over time. In general, pediatricians recommend that babies begin to eat solid foods when they can hold their head up and open their mouth when they notice the food coming. This is done more or less between the age of 4 to 6 months. A baby who eats solids for the first time may have difficulty or even reject the first few meals. It is advisable to give him half a spoon at a time so that he can more easily carry the food from the front to the back of his mouth. In addition, it is a good idea to give a few tablespoons of breast milk before meals so that the baby does not taste too strange in the mouth. Also, it is not good to force the baby to eat. The important thing is to try to sing and play games that help him learn little by little. And if he hasn't eaten much, he should be breastfed or bottle-fed. There are 2 ways to introduce the first solid foods to the baby's diet. The traditional method, which includes purees at the beginning and then foods with other textures. Or the baby's self-regulation that allows him to grab pieces of food with his little hands, then bring them to his mouth and taste them. Tips for successful baby weaning. Weaning the baby should be gradual. This transition is not the same for all children. Below 12 months, it is done by gradually reducing the number of feedings. On the other hand, after 1 year of age, babies tend to use the distraction method, such as playing or taking a walk. It is better to avoid the categorical no. The baby can be told that he will breastfeed when he comes home or after playing a game he loves so that his attention is focused on something else. When the child has already gained some understanding, it is possible to negotiate. For example, he will only take a feed before going to sleep at night. On the other hand, it is a good idea that the weaning of the baby does not start at crucial times in his life. Like, for example, when he starts going to a nursery, when you have just moved, or when a new baby has just arrived in the family. This transition should not take place during the famous growth spurts either. Finally, keep in mind that weaning is stressful for the child. It is therefore useful to give him time to reassure him.